Hey DWM and CMF joint retreat at Christmount. We want to say thanks for being invited into your space. We got an email this past week that someone was sharing with one of the ministers, and it sounded like that person maybe wasn't connected. So we wanted to do an invite today to make sure that you know that we are trying to get the word out a lot through Facebook. And I know not everybody's on Facebook, but if you can, please, you can go to Camp Caroline NC. A lot of our changes, a lot of our updates, a lot of our pictures and families that are having fun and promotional pieces that we're putting out, we're using Facebook as a platform. And I know there's a lot of other platforms out there, and we will get there. As far as it goes, you also please check out campcaroline.org as a good way to get in touch with our new pricing schedules. And certainly, I want to say thank you to Rob and the team up at Christmount, anybody that's been on teams that have been praying about how to keep our spaces safe. Camp Caroline opened in mid-June, and we've had families here. This past weekend, we had 2 of our 6-bedroom, 6-bath cottages being used. We had a fisherman in one of our cabins. We had a family back at Slaymaker House. Everybody's totally getting trained when they get here about how to stay safe, and so people have been using the pool. Camp Caroline right now is providing the pool for groups that are here. We're also, like I taught, he might not want me to tell his name, but Reverend Randy from Covenant Christian Church was just here this past weekend, and he was like, Casey, I've never been on a sailboat. By the time we were done, he was captain in that boat. So it's a lot of fun. We're trying to minimize our indoor use, but maximize what we have here at the camp. The camp was given over 65 years ago to the region of North Carolina as a gift. And that gift had a mission statement, that mission statement would be to raise up the youth for ministry, that the ministers would be raised through the programming and the Christian nurture that happens here. And that happens at a lot of different camps, and certainly it happens at Christmount. And we want to say thank you to all of you who've ever visioned, planned, sponsored, helped, volunteered, any other ways, even in our prayer lives, just thought about Camp Caroline, Christmount, any other camps that you've been a part of. Because that's where I just wanted to focus today on for us, is that as we look forward and as we look at a 5-year plan and 5-year operational funding and where we're trying to go, as far as a sustainable piece of ministry, a sustainable part of ministry, the region and Camp Caroline are one. We are your regional camp. And we want to say thank you and how we're related to our national camp with Christmount and how supportive they are. DWM and CMF, thank you for your support. Thank you for your support as we move forward, and you'll hear from me more and more about this over the next few years. But we talk about this relationally, and there's 2 major things, kind of like I was teaching Captain Randy, I called him at the end of this sailing lesson. It's this relationship between the tiller and the sail. And we got some wake hitting the shore, so we got some extra noise. But we got this relationship between the tiller and the sail, and the tiller is sort of the steering mechanism, and the sail is how much power you try to harness from the wind and how much you try to release. And there's big time meditations on that we can get into. And when you come to places like this, and when you talk to me down here at the waterfront, if I'm working the waterfront, we talk about those kind of relationships and how they relate to our Christian faith. And as far as it goes, our 2-piece relationship to kind of close here about this 5-year visioning that's really tugging at my heart is to talk about the relationship of people utilizing the space that we have. We are open. Everything is safe. We are ready to use small groups or nurture small groups where they use our spaces. Family groups, even small church groups, small organizations. We have the gym is being open tomorrow for groups of 10 people or less to play pickleball. That's the first time all summer that we've been able to do that. So we're trying to look at our resources, look at it through a filter of safety, and then when can we be ready with our staffing and our personnel. So we have usage, which is a major part of this relationship, and then we have this major, much more major than sometimes the usage is the support. The support of the church, the support of you, the support of the region of North Carolina, the support of the region of North Carolina as it relates to Camp Caroline. All of it is related as one. But as far as it goes, as we undergird and start planning for and visioning a 5-year plan, those 2 relationships are really tugging on my heart. We need to use the space, and we invite you. We have spaces now. We have 4 different kinds of housing. We have RV spots. And people just don't know. They're writing emails like they did last week to say, hey, you guys should try this. And I'm like, we are doing this. So maybe we're just not connecting well enough. And then there's the praise be to God for the gifts in our lives, for the support of volunteers, for the support of churches, and for the future support of the church. I want to say thank you. Down here from Dawson Creek and this coastal living style, it is really cool to connect from our mountaintop moments. When we have those mountaintop moments like that we do at Christ Mount, when we go on trails and we push our heart rate and we get energized, those energies are statewide. And you, church, are what bring those energies together. And so we want to say thank you down here from Camp Caroline today for your support of youth ministry and where youth ministry is going, because they have that 5-year plan ahead of them too. And we certainly miss our youth programming this past summer desperately. I will report happily to finish off today that these families who have been coming, that the kids who've been able to go canoeing for the first time or fishing for the first time or sailing for the first time, or they found out that our pool is so easy and fun, they've all been like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to come to summer camp next year. And we hope that energy influences us all, gives us a vision for the future, and helps us undergird and support this ministry of North Carolina. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you face to face, person to person. Even though if we're 7 foot apart or more, at least we get to see face to face as soon as possible. We love you, and God bless you all. Thank you.